guys have heard that. In Agile, we fail fast and pick ourselves up. And I know you guys have heard that over and over again, so it's fine. Now, also well done, at least the whole team finally came together to be able to achieve this. It's not really easy getting people to write on the board sometimes. Sometimes some people withhold and also all that, yada, yada, all good. So well done, guys. Now, on the flip side, please pardon my French in any way I speak, but I will be very open to you guys as much as possible. And at the same time, this feedback will go more to the essence when we go back to our own rooms, maybe tomorrow or anything, when we are doing our session tomorrow to discuss this further. But I want to give this feedback to the whole team so that the whole team too can understand. Now, if I want to put this in the best way I can put it, or in the most moderate way, it wasn't good enough. That's the best way I can put it. If I really say how it comes in my mind, I might go off track, right? So it wasn't really a very good show. Now, scroll up. There are a lot of things we have spoken about in this retrospective. This is not your first one. So I expected that, you know, this second retro will be a step up from the first one, but it was still the same, you know, level of as if you guys were totally new. At some point, I told somebody to anchor, and the person was still dwelling on, you know, what it is to do on each of the column while you were supposed to be reading out the ticket. You know, I really was not happy having to step in because I thought we have passed this stage already. Now, when it comes to retro, it's about you. It's two things in retro, right? You've done a week hard work. You should come and have, you know, even if it's 5 minutes relaxation, please relax and chill. No conversation as regards icebreaker or games or something. I know it's 30 minutes, but if I was the one here in your position at this time, I know that we might need more time to discuss, maybe like 20, 25 minutes from the time. So maybe I'll target 5 minutes for, even if it's just an icebreaker, even if I cannot do a game, just put your team in a relaxed mode. That's one part. Let's even forget about all those parts. Now you give your team another 5 minutes to write stories and start reeling it out. It was painful for me a bit because I know I sent a reminder in the afternoon. I'm not in the position of owning a team this time around. Previously, I used to probably, you know, work with this team in particular, but this time around, I'm working with both teams. So it's your bodies that are really working with you. I also put it there in the message that bodies, you should contact your body if need be, if you're not ready, if you don't know what to do. But your team, you did not prepare the board. That's already number one waste of time. And see what we ended up doing. We even put together nothing, action plan, nothing. Let me forget about that. We didn't finish reading out the stories because of all this left and right, you know, not even knowing how to share your links and all that. We should step up from that, honestly. I know it's not easy, but you need to keep playing with these things. Just like Mr. Deji said earlier, it's not about only knowing how to be a Scrum Master. It's about knowing even how to use your windows and all these things. We did not do grouping. Like all the people that were talking about cooperation, it should have been grouped so that when you discuss it as a group. All those kind of things needs to be done on the board. Voting, we did not vote, nothing as such. So you don't even know your team's mind about it. You understand? All these things are very important when you want to retrospect. Retrospective is, as you know, that's why I like Scrum. If you sit down and look at what each of the words means, it means English words. Retrospective, you are coming back to retrospect. You're coming back to talk about how something that you just finished did. It's like you having a, you know, rethink, oh, what are the things that went on in this thing? Okay, in those things that went on, what went right? What didn't go right? Okay, how should we improve? So it's about adaptation. It's about, you know, inspecting yourselves as a team. None of this really went on in that retro. I had to take it up and I wasn't really happy. I thought we were really past this stage. So as a team, this was not a good show. So you go back and take yourself. Don't worry, this is not chastising, please don't get me wrong. But I like to express myself, or else I'll pamper you into graduating without knowing anything. So I won't like that. I want there to be a fantastic outing for you guys when you are living here. So you remember Blue Sky and say, yes, this is what I took out of Blue Sky. That's the reason I'm going all passionate about it. It's not because I want to, sorry about that. It's not because I want to talk, you know, this way to anyone. It's just for us to have a good feedback at the end of the day, and we can do better next time. So I'll leave it to Ruby. Ruby, please, when you're doing yours, just be as fast as you can. It's just to explain what went on. You don't need to read us through all the tickets. Just give a quick feedback, like a high-level highlight. By now, we should be knowing what high level is. Those are the kind of words we'll be sharing. So all these entries, just give us a high-level report on it. And when you're done, Mojitu will take her own 2 minutes to explain before we jump onto the demo. So thank you, guys. And sorry for the background noise. Thank you. And I hope
Thank you.
anyone with this feedback is just for us to be better, all right? I'm sure by
Sure.
going to the 3rd week, 4th week, I'm sure it will be way more better, and I'll be able to be proud and say, yes, your team was fantastic. So thank you, Moji.
Thank you very much, Laomi. We hope we'll make you proud soon.
I can't wait, but trust me, you guys are already making me proud gradually, but this one was just not really good, right? Thanks.
Thank you.
Please, you need to
Ruby,
stop
please
sharing.
share your screen. No time.
Can you stop sharing, Martha? Okay, thanks. All right. So, can everyone see my screen, please? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So here's the result of our retrospective. So we used the second retrospective column of the Azure board, and then we started with the team mode. I didn't want to go back because we started with the team mode to get a feeling of, okay, so it's here. This is a complete summary. Sorry, just a second. Okay. Now we started with the team mode, and so I'll just go next. Now, this is a team mode of how we felt about the whole retrospective. So how fun was the sprint? Many people said it was 14, it was like they were indifferent a bit, in the middle. And then, most people were in the middle from the general consensus. I think where we had the highest was, how do you rate your team's ability, collaboration, and joint efforts? Many people said, 42.9%. So I guess, people were able to recognize the efforts. However, as per fun or the satisfaction from the team's performance, many people were in the middle. And then where we had, the highest dissatisfaction rate, so to say, in customer experience, they'll say DSAT, where we had the highest DSAT. This was, the satisfaction of, performance in the sprints, where we had 28.6%. All right. And then, so we came together to write the things that went well, and then the things that did not go well, and the things that can be improved on. So the highest votes came on the things that went well, which was about the lectures, the trainings, and the learnings. So a big thank you and kudos to our mentors and Blue Sky for the trainings. Obviously everybody likes it. And yeah, the things that didn't go well, timing and punctuality. We find out that, from meetings, many people, we come in late, and, the how we attend to meetings. So yeah, that had 7 votes. And then team bonding and improvement, 6 votes, because there's a feeling of, people coming together and all. And then what can be improved on? Individual commitment. We need people to pull their weights. And another thing that went well, teams collaboration. Another thing that didn't go well, so it's interesting that, collaboration came in as part of the things that went well, but collaboration still somehow came in as what didn't go well. So we might need to actually meet on this again and brainstorm. Then getting the whole team on the same page, time not being enough, and also we also had some items that didn't have any votes at all. So this is the general overview of everything that we did. So in general, we came up with 19 ideas across board, and then there were a total of 61 votes that made up all these votes here. And then we had 10 participants in the retrospective, though some people came in, along the line, but many of them just remained quiet and they were observing, which I would say wasn't good enough, but we couldn't go back because we were pressed for time. And then the action items that we're actually writing our action items when they just said we had 2 minutes more, so we couldn't really go over the action time. So this is why we have 2 action items. Ideally, we should meet after this to go over the points again and write some more action items so that we can know what we're focusing on in the next sprint. So this is the summary of our retrospective. I'm done.
All right, thanks, Daniel, for that. Okay, okay, yeah, well done, Team Ruby. At least you pasted some ideas and things like that on the board. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about the things that I observed. So you had 30 minutes, and then I think you had some extra minutes in order to do your retro, which I think if it was properly managed, you would have been able to do more than what you did, but you did well. Okay, and why I said you did well, I would get to that point. So the first thing was that your board should have been ready before your retro time. Your retro time is not the time that you create your board. Scrum Masters, okay, we'll take that to our own meeting tomorrow, but that edge into your time a bit also. Okay, because if your board wasn't ready on time, if you're just creating it during the meeting and then you're just adding people onto it and all that, that would definitely eat into, the time that you have, which it did really, and all that. So that was the first thing that I noticed. And then generally now, your retro meeting is a Scrum event, and every Scrum itself is a process, okay? And every Scrum event has a process. Your sprint planning has a process, your DSU has, your daily stand-up has a process, your retro has a process. There's something you do first, and then next, and then next, and then next, and then next. That is what it's meant to be. But the main purpose for your retro is for the team to reflect, not for the Scrum Masters to be the only one talking. I felt for Daniel today. He was cajoling you guys to speak. It's a meeting you come to for you to interact. You inspect what you've done during the sprint, and then you all deliberate together. But it was as if he was forcing most of you to talk. Yeah, there were entries posted on the board, but you left him to be assuming what that person had posted, because when he was calling, people were not answering. Okay, so it's a team's effort. It's not the Scrum Master's effort. The Scrum Master is just there to facilitate. He's part of the team, yes. He puts his ideas there, yes. But you all have to, it's a meeting that you all have to do together. And I think that was part of why he puts the team mode and everything there. He even did a bit of, I won't call it a full icebreaker, but he did a bit of that when he started by saying, describe your week in one word and all that. That's to make sure everybody is participating and all that. And I expected that to be carried into the retro itself when it started. But like I said, it was a lot of cajoling from him for people to talk. We shouldn't be. You should be able to, kind of freely talk. It's an open meeting. It's a meeting that has to do with just you guys. I didn't even intend to say one word, but it got to a stage I had to unmute you, which twice, and said something. And then later on I said, would you hold yourself? Just let them run it, and then we can give feedback later on. So please reflect as a team, reflect together as a team, so that everything you're discussing about, you'll be able to discuss better. I'll give you an example. When he had to do the grouping, there were some points that were put there. They were generic, and he didn't know where to kind of group them with. And it was saying who posted this and all that in order for him to know how to group it. On that one, I would advise that once you have your postings put down, before you go to your grouping, discuss on the entries. If you discuss on the entries before you go to your grouping, it helps you to group better, because then you have an understanding of what everybody is saying. There's some entries that were just one word. By the time the person gives you the explanation of, okay, this is what I meant by this. I'll give an example. There was a lot of timing, on the board and all that. There were a lot of timing. Timing could mean everything. Is generic. Some people just put timing, some people put punctuality. Until we know what that timing is, we can't tie it really to punctuality. Is that person saying that the timing there is that there is no enough time to discuss because of the time box? Is that what the timing means? Is the timing meant that, the timing for that particular meeting, I was at work, and it could be anything. So it's advisable to all group now for you to discuss first the postings quickly, and then you're able to group it properly. And then when you went to the part of the voting now, okay, so when you're voting, what went well really doesn't need voting. That was why I said you need to understand the process. Okay, so I know it has the voting thing there. Okay, what you can do, because everybody is on the board. So if somebody has put down collaboration, if I feel there are about 4 collaboration and I'm feeling, okay, if I had my own collaboration again and all that and everything, I can go to voting and vote and do a thumbs up for collaboration. What I'm saying on the what went well column, when I vote for collaboration, is that I agree with this person. Okay, that's why I'm voting for it. Yeah. And then when you go to the what didn't go well and everything and all that, somebody has put Scrum Master is always sleeping. And I say thumbs up for it and all that and everything. I'm agreeing to it because I don't want to kind of, put that same posting on it on it again. Maybe I don't, kind of just populate the same thing and everything. So that's for your what went well and maybe your what didn't go well column. Now the part you want to vote for, which you're voting for it, what it is your improvement. So you have a lot of improvements that you've put in there and all that and everything. You've read it through it also, you've discussed it, have an understanding of it and everything. So we now vote on this because if you have 10 improvement ideas, you can't take all 10 improvement ideas into your sprint to action in the next sprint you're going to. So what you're doing there is, okay, we have these 10 improvements. Let's vote which one are priority to us that we want to take into the next sprint. You vote on that improvement column and all that, and then maybe you'll have two ideas having 10. You have 2 ideas having 10, and you have another one having 9 and all that. Now you discuss. Okay, so we have two ideas having 10, we have 2 ideas having 9 and all that and everything. Let's discuss together as a team, knowing how this sprint went and all that. Which of these ones do we want to prioritize? Because it's possible you can't take all 4 into the next sprint in order to action it. And by the time you now know, you all discuss and agree together. Okay, that's why you have that discuss after the voting. You all agree together that, okay, out of that 4, that are priority out of the whole 10 that has been put there, because the others have votes also, don't get me wrong, but those ones with 10 and 9 definitely would maybe be the highest. You now discuss as a team. You can, how many do we want to take in? That's the first thing you need to agree on. Or let's take 2, at least let's take 2 improvement action plan into the new sprint so that it doesn't distract us too much. And now you're not looking at, you're discussing to say, okay, out of these 4, which one do we want to take? Oh, I think we need that one that says we need to improve our commitments. I think we need this one that says we need to do, and then you take that into your action plan. So another thing, Scrum Master, you need to do, there has to be 4 boards. There has to be an action plan board, okay, for record purposes, because you can't be writing that down in a paper. You need it on your okay, so you have it as action plan items, but you has to be, this was created after, isn't it? There's no board for this. So because it has to be, it has to be
the way this retrospective works. So
board
like
is, you can't put it on
so
it.
after we voted, like just like you mentioned, so it should have been what didn't go well. So after we voted, so for instance, when I come to timing, this was here in the discuss section. So you now add the action items to each of it. So you just add, you can even use it to create a task if it's something that we feel like, or you can use it to create a test case or whatever. But for plain text, so we just add, discuss the action items and then add it, and then so for
let me
record
quickly
purposes.
ask the action. Okay, if you take it back to summary now, and you have your where is it again? Okay, these action items that you've put here, was it agreed that is what you action into your next sprint? That was what I was saying. That
we were just we were just in the
yes, it was agreed. Yeah.
It was
so
agreed.
we're just discussing it.
So
yeah, so we're just discussing
able to create a task or a PBI with these actions right now, the way they are? The way we were able to see the other ones, and we
so
saw
if
that
you wanted to use it to create a PBI, so we would have just created it from here. So if you want to use it to create a PBI, so from here now we can just say a task, and then if we say, for instance, lectures, just an example. So if we say lectures, and then we need to say deliver lectures daily. So if we do this and then we say add, then immediately it takes us to a new page where we can use it to create a new.
Go back to the board. I want to show you what I was talking about.
Sorry, it's not going to be tasks that you have to create. It's a PBI. Okay. Just to clarify that anyway.
Okay. Yeah, just like they said, it's not compulsory, it's optional that you can do it. But what I was trying to explain to you is, if you have a column for your action plan, because if you create an action plan where you are now, you're creating, if you look at the title at the top, the one in pink is on what didn't go well, when it should have been on your action plan column. But don't worry, we'll take that, Scrum Masters, we'll take that into the next meeting and all that. So for me, really, your feedback is that all team members, please, you need to talk. It's an interactive meeting and all that. There were a lot of assumptions that Daniel had to make, and even some of the team members were saying, well, he wasn't him alone, because he was asking to say, what does this mean? Do you think this means? Because the person that posted weren't talking. And then the team members had to be saying, oh, well, maybe that was what that meant. And maybe that's an assumption, which if it's taken on, it could be misinterpreted to be something else, which is not. So please try and interact when you are having all this meeting. That's the main thing that you need to do. Because you need to improve, you need to take ownership, and then you need to look at the timeline. Those are the three things you need to look at when you're doing your retro. But the most important thing, about this meeting is everybody has a voice and everybody should be able to talk. Don't get your Scrum Masters or every other team member assuming what you've posted there, especially once it's a generic word or generic sentence that can be interpreted in different ways. It's better to just unmute to say, okay, this posting I've put there, this and this and this, because it's what you think. And nobody your team members are not psychic enough to come into your head to know that, oh, this was what the person was saying when they posted that. So please, let's take that on board. Thanks.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Don't worry, it's your show. Don't worry, guys.
Thank you so much, Moji. Thank you for all the explanation. And well done, Daniel. Well done, Team Ruby. And well done, Emerald. I know from here, it's forward ever. I'm very sure. From here is forward ever. So we'll do a more detailed, discussion about this within the Scrum Masters. So I'm expecting that. In fact, don't worry, I'm almost assuring us that next one will be ready as Scrum Masters. So thank you all for your time and thank you for a beautiful retrospective. Does anybody have any comments before we jump into the demo? Anyone with any comments before we go into the demo? Anyone? You can unmute, go straight away. But if not, thank you. Thank you so much for the session. So we're going to go to the next session, which will be our demo. So I'm almost tempted to roll a wheel to decide who to start first. But
hold on. Let me just give a quick feedback if that's fine. As we're waiting for,
we love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think the team did very well, to be honest. This is your first retro that you do by yourself anyway. And if you know how to do it, you won't be here anyway. So the fact that you don't know how to do it, and that's why you are here. So just kind of pat yourself at the back that it is the first one, though it might not go well as you want it. That means you have to do retro on your retro as well, basically. So what went well in the retro, that's another retro that you have to do. But well done, actually. But one thing I can tell you that I think went not well, right, is preparation for your retro. And I think Moji mentioned that in one of the Scrum trainings. Actually, every Scrum ceremony, there's there is also the ceremony, and there's post as well. Pre-ceremony, what are the things that you need to do, right? You should have set up your board and making sure everything is set up and you are ready. You go to the meeting or the ceremony, you are sorted, and then you start, and then that's it. And then now, so having done this now, what are your post actions, right? Scrum Master, take that up right now. What are your all these actions, everything that you need to now kind of work on it. Do you get now within the next sprint? Okay, I would advise you to create stories for them. This will be your story now, right? Assign it to yourself to say, oh, the team said confidence level, how can we improve it? You own it now, right? So right now you can see that it's not only developers or the QAs now that got story, you also have stories now, right? So the team is saying that they don't have understanding. What do they mean? You create a story, you put on the board, is your own now. You owned it right now. You need to now ensure that so when the next demo comes or sprint planning comes, you can actually say that, oh, okay, this particular thing that we discussed last week, we've been able to resolve it now. Everything is fine. You don't want to have the same retro action every time. Do you get it now? That will not look good on you as a Scrum Master. Do you get it now? So you want to be, okay, we've been addressed it. Another one will come and you go ahead with that. So that's, if you need to have coaching for your team, you need to coach them. If you need to explain stuff to them, if you need to get someone in, or if you need to actually escalate to the stakeholder to say, we need my team to be coached on this thing, which I don't have knowledge, that you need to be able to also say so. But by and large, I think this has went well, to be honest. So it's even though it's not what you plan to have in most area. But to be honest, I think it's fine if everything went well for this spring retro. Then we can as well just close the shop and go away. But the fact that there's still a lot to cover means that, yeah, we can still use these remaining weeks to make sure that we kind of fix those issues, and then we go ahead. But we're done anyway. So it means that now we've been able to cover all these ceremonies by ourselves. Next sprint that we are starting next week, to be honest, you can see that since it's going to actually be in shape. And yeah, of course, there'll be some inactive members. Do you get it now? I want to send that to you now. If there's inactive member, please escalate them to the admin. We might need to remove them actually. So this is very, very important. So, and also don't cover up anyone, even though I will encourage you to kind of encourage everybody to be active, right? Once you've done your bit, right? But let it be that you've done your bit, right? Another thing I want the Scrum Master to know, there's a time that you might have to recommend someone to be sacked in your team, right? And sorry if I just relate this one as a keyway lead. I think whether it's a keyway lead or a Scrum Master, I went for an interview like that, and the interview went well, but one of the directors was asking me, if your team is doing this, what if you're a member of your team is doing this, what are you going to do? I went through different scenarios, different things, encourage coaching, all this thing that you can go in for a meeting with them, take him to even a pub to discuss or talk. The guy was just probing, what else will you do? What else will you do? I was giving several instances of what I would have done before, what I could have done as well. But eventually, so the meeting and the interview went there. They said, unfortunately, we are not going to take you. And I asked for a feedback. He said one question that he asked, that even though I answered it properly and is good, but I missed one of the most important parts, which is like, at the point you have to sack someone. And he said, I did not say that I'm going to sack the person. So there will be time that you have to actually, even if you don't have power to sack, you have to recommend someone either to be moved from your team or to be let go, right? So that, because this is a practical platform, you have opportunity to recommend someone to be sacked as well. Do you get it now? But I want you to ensure that everyone finish as well. Do you get it now? But there will be instances where this person, you've done everything possible. You've actually encouraged, you've done anything, whether the person is a Scrum Master, BA, QA, or DA, this person needs to be let go, right? So you need to recommend them also to be removed, right? This is very important, okay? So, and yeah, so that it's really, really good. Okay, I did.
Good evening. Sorry about this. I just want to ask this question. I know everybody paid for the course, yeah, but the problem is we even had to tell a party to switch off the phone and just because we could tell that it was taking a toll on them, that they should. We came together as Scrum Masters to tell the person to switch off the phone and take 24 hours away, or maybe I'm just giving it. I'm giving it hours. Just take some time off because we could tell the way the person was acting that the person wasn't right. It was taking a toll on the person. So, because you're saying right now that we get somebody sacked, I know this is just a working environment, but in the real life, when somebody is under duress, what do we do? Because we had a hand tie. I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to. But we only a few of us could do this task to date, and we were going back and forth as a Scrum Master. So that's why I have to throw this question to you: that what do we do, or did we do the right thing, or was it wrong what we did, telling the person to switch off the phone and forget about this course for like maybe 7 hours or whatever? That's what we did over the past 24 hours. So I don't know what do you put into this, because You understand? Whatever happened to that person also affected us today or yesterday, but we still had to soldier on and act as if nothing happened.
All right, thanks for bringing that up. Actually, it like I said, this is a live situation, and what you've done also could happen at work placements as well. We want to make this experience as close to work as possible, and that's what you're actually seeing. One, like I want to also create that, correct that impression. Not everyone on this platform paid, actually, right? Some people are sponsored as well, because we also do a charitable work for people to be sponsored, right? So the yeah, the criteria is left for us how they are sponsored. So let me just so I would say like 30% will be sponsored on this platform as well. And yeah, so that's one. Then having said that, even though someone is sponsored or someone is paid, once you're on this platform, there's no difference as well. That's why we also send terms and conditions, right, to say that if you do not meet this criteria, right, you'll be removed, so that eventually if you remove someone will not say that, yeah, they removed me because we could just flag that particular message to say we don't want to use it, and we don't need to use it as well. Do you get it now? But we just put that in place to cover ourselves. Do you get it now? Should in case this person becomes inactive and we have to make a call, and as a scrum master you made a call, we have to remove the person. Then also, what makes someone to be inactive, right? You call a meeting, the person did not attend. You pick a call and you ask the person, why are you not attending? The person did not actually respond to you in a good way, or the person doesn't even pick your call at all, right? And you made every effort to encourage the person, right? I spoke to someone today. The person was telling me that I was in your program before. I was not that serious, but you guys did not, and I said, okay, I was removed. And I told the guy, for me, I'm not involved in who removes you or what. I've already put a platform there, right? And I've put system in place. The system works by himself. Do you get now? If you remove me from the equation, the system will still work. And that's what I want, right? So when you say, for instance, if I'm not in this call, no, yeah, my team will still work. Do you get it now? So the same way I want to say, okay, as a Scrum Master, if this person is not active and you've done everything possible, right? Take it as a work placement. You need to ensure that this person is gone, right? Now, to answer your own question specifically on this issue, you've acted rightly, because like I said, I was also talking to my team and I said, these days, mental health is very, very important as well. And this course is very, very intense. Do you get it now? And you can see in that particular person that this particular program is taking a toll on his health or on that particular person. So, and you make a recommendation for the person to take time off. And at work, your boss can tell you, I think, yeah, the way you sounded is taking, I will tell you what happened on Thursday, right? At work, I was meant to do a presentation to a client, right? And I came into the office, everything is fine. And because it's a shared document, I found that whether a member of my team has done something or something like that, and that sheet was not working. And I was like, and I have presentation in the next 2 hours. Yeah. And I went to a stand-up, right? And even though I didn't say anything, one of the team members said, Deji, are you all right? And I said, why? He said, the way you are sounding doesn't look like you are fine. And he was like, why? Because in my team, they know me. I'm kind of that jovial person and everything. And so he was like, this is not you. And I said, oh, it's because of this particular sheet. I don't know who actually changed it and everything. And the guy said, okay, let's look at it together. We share the screen. And they had solutions as well, to be honest, even though I think. So they said, okay, let's revert it. Let's see what happened. Within half an hour, we are able to solve it. Do you get it now? But what am I saying right now? In some cases, you need to help people as well, right? If they raise their hands to help, to say, I need help, right? You will be able to help them. But when someone is not actually raising their hands and you are also extending your hands to them, they are also rejecting it. You've done everything you could. You just have to let the person go. Yeah. Hope that clarifies that, Ade.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other question, please? Okay. Over to you, Umi.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So let's thank you all for this session. So let's move on to the demo. I want to